Cut the music.
Is you guys there? Sorry, gosh, I think I did all that and the audio was off. Let's start over. Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto Channel. We are live. It is a beautiful Friday. It's Friday. Finally, a day here in Mississippi with no rain, guys. It has like been miserable, just rain for literally about 6-7 weeks straight. I'm not even kidding. But we got no rain today. It's sunny. It looks nice. Got to start this whole spiel over. For those of you that are new here, we are a no BS crypto channel. I don't need people to invest their $100 to pump my bags. I just want to give it to you straight, never gay, guys. Give it to you straight, no sugarcoating, no fluff, just what we see, and that's it. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. We're going to give it to you straight, though. I'm not going to blow smoke, no sensitivity training, none of that stuff. You deserve better than people to blow smoke up your butt, so we're not going to do that here. Johnny, number 5, what's up, bro? West Coast, Joe Bowers in the house. Jack. Mighty Max, bro. Guns up, man. Guns up. Got the little guns today. You see the guns? Got the little guns. Did a little chest workout today. Little chest. That's it. Usually I do something else like triceps or shoulders to go with it. I just wasn't really feeling it today. But I did lift heavy. 100-pound incline dumbbell presses. 100-pound dumbbells. 8 to 10 reps. Max is killing these long trades from the lows. Yeah, we've had some good ones. We're going to talk about those. We're going to go into what we can expect next. John says, you know it. Yeah, John and Max, in case y'all don't know, in our Discord, AnthonyLeeCrypto.com. I did pin a comment in chat. You can join our VIP Discord. Those are 2 of our pro traders in there. And guys, they're really good. If they give you a trade, not financial advice. If they give a trade, I take it. Let's just say that. I take it. Salt Chain, what's up, bro? Thanos, my main man in the house. Joe, y'all got some rain up there? Canadian rain. It's hot and muggy here, though. I'll tell you that much. Eons, good morning, Eons. All right, we got a full crew today. We got a full crew. Let's dive on in. Let's take a look at some trades we got going so far. First of all, I am still short from 81K. Oh, let me drag her on over. Still short from 81.7K, given in advance in the VIP Discord and taken on the live stream. We did take this trade live on stream. I am still in this trade. I'm about 95% out. And my stop loss is at entry. I'm either going to get stopped out of this or I'm going to screenshot it at 40K. One of the two. I'm only holding this for screenshot purposes now. I've gotten almost all of my profit out. So here's what it is. We have longed twice from the bottom here. Let's see, this first one I got stopped out of, but we did secure $6,800 in profit. I got stopped out of this one a couple days ago. But we did enter yesterday. We are back in the trade. I have locked down $2,100 in profit. We gave this trade in advance in the VIP Discord, and then we took it in the pro. We have a pro traders group where there's just a select few traders in here. We took this trade yesterday. Let's see. Here we go. Brad, one of our pro traders, gave it. Took the long here, 58K. Johnny was in. I was in. I was late to the party. I didn't get in until 58.2. I was scared, but I got in. Anyway, so not only did we tell you in advance, we gave the trade in advance, right? See if I can find, just so you see what we do here in the crew. Gave the trade in advance here with the trade setups that morning. Right in here. We let you know when we took the trade. And then we didn't just leave you hanging like, hey guys, we're in, peace out. We let you know as we managed along the way. These guys told you along the way, TP1, TP2, Brad TP1, Crypto Hunches TP1, 50% of his trade. And then I'll let you know, got into TP, I closed 50% at 59.4. So we're letting you know where we're going along the way, guys. Join us, AnthonyLeeCrypto.com. I'll pull it up, and then we're going to dive in. AnthonyLeeCrypto.com, VIP Discord, mentorship programs, everything you need. So we also had our Babylon short, guys, which I am out of. I did close this, unfortunately. Apparently, I closed it a little too soon. But we made $8,300 realized on this. I want to show you guys this one. This is where we entered it because so many people didn't take this trade, and I don't know why. I gave it to you. We planned this trade. Here it is on the screen, if I can find it. I just had it. There it is. Babylon trade. We planned this trade for months in advance. I mean, months. Looking back, we saw that this had happened. Where is my... There we go. We saw this has happened every single cycle. I'm not fixing to run through all this. There's plenty of Babylon info out there that I've given you guys. This exact setup has happened every single bear market, and our minimum target was this yellow box, the golden box, which we have nailed so far. We could lose it, but that was our minimum target. I took this trade. I told you the day of. Look, right here. But I just want you to show how we roll. Right here, 5/26, May 26th. I said I could be wrong, but I truly think we confirmed Babylon 2.0 today. I'm looking for two massive trades. That was at 4:53 in the morning. At 6:45 a.m., I said that I took the trade, and I gave you my position. I gave you my entry. I gave you my position size. I gave you everything. And then we went live that morning, and Babylon hit, and we took the trade. Remember, that was 5/26. And let's go look, 5/26. What do you know? Right there. Gave it to you. That's where we get the cross. The 2-day 5 crossing below, the 55. Boom, right there. There was our Babylon short. Gave it to you live. Taken live. $8,300 profit. Super simple. And I cut it too soon. I cut that trade right here. Actually, I wrote it down and got stopped out on a bounce. I had a trailing stop. So here's what it is, guys. So we've been kicking ass on some trades lately. Hawkborn. Yeah, okay, good point. Hawkborn says, hey, you're almost to 1K subs. All right, yeah, so let's take a look. Let's refresh here. Let's see where we are. We're going to give away 1,000 USDT. We're at 921 subs. We've made a little effort to grow the channel the last week and a half or so. We were at 500. Now we're at 921. When we get to 1,000, probably next week, we're going to give away 1,000 USDT on the live stream. We haven't given away $1,000 in about a month, so it's time we do that. Come on over to the channel, guys. Check out the videos. I put out a lot of request altcoins. Just because I cover an altcoin does not mean I'm interested in them. Most of these are by request. But here's two, I think, important videos. One I put out a day or two ago, 5 major altcoins that will wreck you next cycle. Now, hear me, guys. I don't think these are bad coins, okay? Everybody gets all offended and sensitive, like, ooh, you don't like Quant. I'm like, it's not that I don't like Quant or Ondo. I'm just telling you, people are overvaluing these coins based upon the fundamentals, and they're not looking at the technicals or the token unlocks. So I don't think that these will go down to zero. I think they'll do pretty well. I just don't. The return on investment is not there, in my opinion. I'm just going to shoot you straight, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But so what? You can look at this other video with my top 5 alt picks. Now these, never mind the fundamentals, even though they have good fundamentals, they are coins that can underperform. They can do just kind of an average performance and do better than what it would take these 5 on an overperformance. Now, could they overperform? Sure, they can overperform. Absolutely. But why do I want to bet on a coin that has to have certain narratives come through? Like, you have to have it play out, or you're going to massively underperform because you're diluting your market with tokens. Why do I want to bet on that? Because what if that narrative doesn't play out? Then you're screwed. Or these coins here that don't require a narrative to play out, they can just do the bare bones minimum on technicals and still do better than the other ones. Okay, it's not about glamour and which coin is sexier. It's about which coin's going to give you the best return on investment. Okay, get off the little hype narrative. I'm on a soapbox this morning, but we're waiting on market to open, guys. We're going to look for some trades this morning. Even though we're already in the long, Eons is going to win again. Eons may not even be on the stream that day. Eons has won twice, though. We may have to exclude Eons. I'm just kidding, Eons. I'll tell you what. If we give away 1,000 USDT when we hit 1,000 subs, if Eons wins, I will give right there on the stream, I will spin the wheel again and give away another 1,000 where Eon is excluded. Okay, how about that? So potential 2,000 USDT giveaway that day. Otherwise, people are going to start to say it's rigged. Eons is rigged. I mean, we've given away like 10 giveaways. Eons has only won twice. And to be fair, there was only about like 8 people on the wheel, so he had like a 1 in 8 chance. I've started this list, guys. Oh, by the way, let me give you this link. This is your last chance. And then we'll be done with housekeeping. We're going to move on. This is your last chance to get your free $1,500 from MEXC. There's the link. This ends on June 30th. So this weekend's your last chance. Use that link. Register a brand new account. Click the blue register now button. Deposit $100. Complete primary KYC. And after 24 hours of holding your $100 deposit in there, they will airdrop you 1,500 USDT. I've had lots of people have gotten this. I've seen their screenshots. I saw Max made over $7 grand. Max took his 1,500 free dollars and 100x longed or 100x shorted the Babylon trade. Hey, it worked out. It's a good trade. The $150,000 margin trade on free on a high probability Babylon setup. Good job, bro. Good job, bro. Yeah, Max throwing the guns up. That's right. All right. Let's dive in. So I've started this running list. I want to show you guys something real quick. I'm sorry, I'm stalling because we're waiting on market to open. We're going to get into trade, hopefully. Flashbang, guys. I started this list, and I'm going to add to it of people you should unfollow for those of you new. Like people who give you bullshit narratives and blah, blah, blah. Unfollow those people, okay? They're only going to steer you wrong. I tell you what's sad is a lot of people, like if you got a coin, say you own a coin right now. Say you own Ondo. And you believe that Ondo is going to 20x from here, okay? Everybody's telling you that crap. They're lying, first of all. They're either straight up lying or they just don't understand tokenomics. But either way. And then somebody like me comes and shows you the data, and I'm like, it is impossible for Ondo to 20x from here. Impossible, because they're unlocking 700% more coins between now and then, so it's impossible. I mean, nothing's impossible, but it's very, very, very unlikely. So people get so mad, and I'm like, don't get mad. It's not too late to jump to everything's at the bottom-ish. So it's not too late to jump to a coin that can 20x. Why get so mad? Like you don't have, just because you have it now doesn't mean you have to ride it up. You know, I understand you're probably on a drawdown, but that's okay. No matter what you bought 2 months ago you're in a drawdown on. So you're in a drawdown on this, or you're in a drawdown on everything. So jump ship, and rather than sticking with this coin that might 5x from here, right? Jump ship now to something that's going to 20x, and even though you're in a drawdown, you're going to make way more money. But people get so mad. They don't want to hear that. Anyway, unfollow these people, and we're going to add one to the list today. These people will wreck you every time. Unfollow Elliott Wave people, period. I'm not going to go on an Elliott rant today, but unfollow them. I'm just trying to help you guys. I'm being dead serious. Unfollow, number 2, people who don't understand tokenomics, circulating supply, or market cap. People who are just like, oh, they are partnering with so-and-so. They've got this in the works. When this hard fork comes through, when that, those are narratives. Those are fundamentals. 99% of the time, they don't play out. Okay, and if they do play out, that's great. I'm not knocking it. I hope they do. But don't be reliant upon that happening in the event that it doesn't, right? Look at the technicals and then get on a coin with strong technicals that maybe happens to have a good narrative. That way, you're going to make the technicals regardless. And if you get the narrative, that's a bonus, okay? Don't be reliant upon a coin that tells you they're going to do something sometime in the future. Give you any idea how many times I've seen delays? Something was going to roll out. Delayed. Or the partnership falls through, or their project team gets hired away by a competitor. That happens. Or they lose their funding. You know, just don't bank on that. Bank on technicals, the numbers, the probabilities. Narrative is improbable. Numbers are probable. That's number 3, influencers pushing a narrative and not technicals. XRP, Army, Maxis, just unfollow the XRP people. Those people are crazy. XRP has been going to $10 for over a decade. XRP is never going to $10. Unfollow them. Anyone who suggests anything about institutions being bullish, institutions are not bullish. Let me tell you something. Institutions are not here to make you money. Institutions are here to make themselves money and their clients money, not you, not me. They don't care. Matter of fact, case in point, you see this dump today, this morning, this big dump that's come in the last hour or so, last couple hours. Bitcoin has dumped from almost 61K to 58.7. Why? Oh, here's the answer. This is Arkham, the Arkham platform. BlackRock is dumping on you. Look at it. Look at all these Bitcoiners right here. 300 Bitcoin. This is all within the last hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2,000 Bitcoin they dumped on you. No, more than that. 2 hours ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 35. About 4,000 Bitcoin they've dumped on you. And you see where it says 300 right here, the second one, 300 Bitcoin? You can click on it, and it says, oops, it says spent. That means they sold it. They dumped about 4,000 Bitcoin on you in the last 2 hours. They are not here to prop the Bitcoin price up for you and me. They're here to manipulate, to use their massive position sizes to manipulate the market, to liquidate you and I, to create panic or FOMO, whatever they need it to do, so that we react a certain way, so that they can make money. So anybody telling you, oh, the institutions are here, they don't care. They want you to lose. In order for them to win, you and I have to lose. Unfollow those people. Anyone who suggests crypto is going to the moon when the Clarity Act is signed, same thing. That's bullshit. First of all, even if it is signed, it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Just like when the Coinbase was traded publicly, just like when the ETFs were approved, literally that day was the high, crashed down, 30% drop. Same thing here. Plus, what is the Clarity Act? Just think about this. What is the Clarity Act? It's the government getting involved. It's centralization getting involved in a decentralized token. If anybody can name one time that the government getting involved with a program has ever benefited you or I, please do correct me. The government getting its greedy little fingers wrapped around crypto is not a good thing. The governments are in it for institutions, banks, central bank digital currencies, all that kind of stuff. That is what the government is in it for. They are not in it for our decentralized altcoins and Bitcoin. No, it's not bullish. It is not bullish. I don't understand it. Anyway, Let's add one to this list, and then I'm going to stop ranting. Sorry, guys. I know I'm ranting a lot this morning. I'm on one today. Here's a screenshot from a stream that someone sent me this morning. All right, this guy right here, if you know this guy right here, he's part of a huge channel. They have over 1 million followers. First of all, I should add to the list, unfollow anyone that tells you MicroStrategy is crashing the Bitcoin price. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But anyway, so this guy took this trade live on stream. Bitcoin came down, bounced 4%. Bitcoin bounced, hear me, 4% Bitcoin had already bounced. And then he took this trade after a 4% bounce. He took it, you can see right here at $60,431. He took this trade. He put a stop loss at the low at 57.9 and a take profit here at 66. He had a 2-to-1 risk to reward, which is awful. And then he had the balls to say, maybe some good news will come out today about MicroStrategy that will pump Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. So you took a trade after a 4% pump, intraday pump. Bitcoin pumped 4% on the day. So then you long. Your stop loss is 4% down. And you're wanting a 4% move to the upside? Like that is awful. And your narrative for wanting this trade that you just steered your 1 million followers is maybe MicroStrategy will come out with some good news. Unfollow this guy, y'all. It was terrible. It was terrible. I really couldn't believe somebody sent me that. I really couldn't believe it. It was terrible. And then their thumbnail for the day. Let's see if I can find their thumbnail. I'll tell you, it's Crypto Banter. It's like a group of traders. Here's his thing for today. MicroStrategy capitulation could drop Bitcoin. This is dumb, guys. This is dumb. Look, let's look at MicroStrategy. Here's MicroStrategy at $85, okay? And anybody thinking MicroStrategy is in trouble is crazy. MicroStrategy was at, this is Michael Saylor's company, was at $13 last bull market. MicroStrategy today in this bear market is still almost 600% higher than it was 4 years ago. 600% higher than 4 years ago. And he had all the Bitcoin back then. So if his company's fine at $13, what in the makes you think he's not fine at $85? Michael Saylor is probably the world's foremost expert on Bitcoin. Do you not think he understands? Like, if you and I know that every cycle, Bitcoin goes to the 786 in a bear market, retraces to the 786, right? You got a low, you got a high. I know this is MicroStrategy, but then retraces to 786. I know that. You know that. Do you not think the guy that owns the world's most Bitcoin knows that? And if that's the case, do you not think he has a plan and is prepared for it to come down here? Do you think he didn't know that in advance when he bought all these millions of Bitcoin or however many he's got? Do you not think he knew that and had a plan for that and was positioned so that he could weather that storm? Of course he knows that. So people telling you that he's in trouble, they're crazy, they're stupid, guys. I'm sorry, they're dumb. He's not in trouble. He wasn't in trouble at $13, and he's not in trouble at $85. And then they're saying, oh, well, he sold. He sold. Well, I got another news flash for you guys. Michael Saylor sold Bitcoin back in, let's go to the weekly, back in December of 2022. Michael Saylor sold right here. He sold 704 Bitcoin, okay, right there at the bitty bottom. And everybody freaked out then. And then 2 days later, bing bong, he bought 810. So he sold 700, bought 800 2 days later, and massive bull run. Fast forward to today's price action, like a week or so ago, Michael Saylor sold 32 Bitcoin. 32. Which is 20 times less than he sold last bear market. Sold 32 Bitcoin for $1.5 million. And everybody said he crashed the market. Well, guess what? 2 days later, he bought 1,500 Bitcoin for $100 million. So tell me how his $1.5 million sell right here crashed the market, but his 100 million buy 2 days later didn't blast it off. Those people are stupid, guys. Those people are ignorant, and I'm sorry. I skipped sensitivity training. I don't care. If you don't like it, I don't care. It's true. And I'm only harping on this because if you follow these people, they're going to wreck you. They're going to create this fear in your head, and they're going to make you – listen, I was here last cycle. This is my third bear market. I remember when he sold 32 here, and everybody said the same thing. Like, oh, my gosh, it's the beginning of the end. Here it goes. We're going down. Michael Saylor is selling all the Bitcoin. He's going to crash the market. And that, guys, that was literally the bottom. That was the bottom. That was the bottom. But everybody started selling their Bitcoin because they panicked. Because Michael Saylor sold 700 Bitcoin and turned around and bought 800 2 days later. Michael Saylor, think of him like an institution, okay? Like an institution. He owns all these Bitcoin, but how's he going to make money? How's he going to make money? He's got to have price go up. How does he have to have price go up? He has to have you and I lose, right? Right? We have to drive price up so that he can sell into us eventually. He's not fixing to dump his Bitcoin's been holding for over a decade at the bottom. He's just not going to do it. But what he can do, knowing how we are, is he can sell at 32 Bitcoin and make us panic and sell at the bottom like he did last time. Think about that. Michael Saylor is not in this game for you or I to make money. He's in this to use his position to mess with us psychologically because that's how he makes money, just like an institution. Anyway, unfollow those people. And we're just going to put this as crypto banter. Unfollow crypto banter. Because that's one of the worst trade setups I've ever seen. All right, we're moving in. U.S. market's open in a few minutes. I got my 30-minute rant out of the way. Love you guys. Salt Chain says, sometimes it's hard for me to discern what is BS and what isn't because these guys say everything with such confidence. Seriously, just kind of spot trade my alts. That's all you got to do, spot trade your alts. But listen, like literally think about it. When these guys say stuff, don't be a sponge. Like sit back and say, now does that make rational sense? Does that make logical sense? And like the Michael Saylor MicroStrategy thing, people are saying it's $85. They're going under, they're going to crash the market. Okay, maybe. But rather than just accepting that and freaking out and panic selling your coins, pull up MicroStrategy chart and you can see, oh, last bear market he's at $13. I'm sure he's fine. And then you just have to know that he's the Bitcoin guy. Like he knows way more about it than you and I. And if I know that there's a strong likelihood Bitcoin retraces to 786, then surely he knows that. And if he knows that and he knew that he can't weather that storm, he would not have been buying along the way. But he bought along the way knowing that this was the likelihood, right? He knew that. He's got a plan, guys. And we were calling for the top up here. That's not Bitcoin. We were calling for the top up here, right? Do you not think Michael Saylor knew that was toppy-ish? And if he was going to sell, he would have sold up here or even up here. He's not fixing to sell right here, guys. He has planned for this. He's in it for the long run. And if he was planning to sell, he would not have sold 32 2 weeks ago and turned around about 1,500 2 days later if he was panicking. Just use the old noggin. You guys are smart. All right, 8:30. Here we go. Let's see what they're doing. Got the big move down. By the way, crypto banter just got wrecked. When he gave that trade, guys, 60,000. I can't stop ranting about it. I'm sorry. Bitcoin pumped right here. Boom, big pump up. This guy took the trade 60,431 right there. He took the trade and gave it to his live freaking audience right there, the long trade. He said long right there. Literally, this thing has done nothing but go down since he gave that trade. And I understand, I don't win every trade, but you don't take a long trade after a 4% pump. He wrecked every single person on his stream. And it's one thing if you're like down here at the bottom and you're like, okay, we're at a daily level, we're bouncing off the daily, let's long, and it just rolls over. You at least long to good support with some divergences. You didn't sit here and think, oh, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, let's FOMO in at the top and give it to my live audience and wreck them. That is irresponsible. Again, if you long the bottom, you take a shot and it goes against you, that's one thing. But this is bad trading. Let's turn our vectors on, guys. Let's turn our vectors on. No trending Asia UK session, so we don't really have a direction here. Asia literally went both ways. And the UK kind of did too. I mean, Asia opened up here, dumped, pumped, UK retraced, and neither Asia high has been taken. So you got the UK high and the Asia low. I would lean towards the Asia low getting taken. I'll be honest, guys, I would love to see a move down into this 57K and boom, gone. Big pump. Relief rally through July and August, which is what's coming in my opinion. Look at our moons, guys. We had that big bear moon. Man, did it ever play out? Bear moon right up here. And guess what we have on Monday, guys? Right there. Bull moon coming on Monday, guys. And you can't blind trade the moons. I mean, last time you had the bull moon was right here. Although Jane and I both called for this. We told you this bull moon is going to be a bust. Somebody in Discord, I'll never forget, somebody in Discord said bull moon, and I said more like bull flop because we were under Babylon 2.0 right here. But I actually do look for this bull moon to play out, guys. I like this bull moon. I would really like to see, preferably today or over the weekend, a move down into the golden pocket here. Maybe this daily level right here at 57.3. Tap that and then move up. We have, let's zoom out here. Let me turn these moons off. We have some really good unconfirmed daily bullish divergence, right? You see here, we got the lower lows in price, you got the higher highs. The problem is money flow is still thick in the red, but still thick in the red. It's starting to flatten off there. So if we can get the curve here, we could look over the next couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, to have a push up. Now you can come lower, but you don't often come lower than where you are now. Still a line on it. Okay. Yeah, we came lower down here back in March. That was the big dump from 98K. You came lower during that time, but you can see back here, I mean, gosh. It was March of 25 before you came to this level previously. And even then, that was it. That was it. You turned it around right there and moved back up. Let's see what happened in price there. That was the low there where you tapped that line, which is what we're tapping now. So in the last year, you've only come below that line once. And it was all the way back 2 years prior before you tapped it again. So you tapped it there. That was in 23. So since 2023, you've only tapped this line twice, now 3 times. Yeah, so when we had it this last time, you got a little move down right after you tapped that line. We got that little move down, but then you had the big move up, 70% move up on Bitcoin. So I think we're getting there, guys. I think we're getting there towards a really good relief rally. Even when you hit that low here, you still initially rallied up about 14%. But we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Again, in the last 3 years, you've only come below this line once. And that was the dump here from 98K back in February, March. Once in 3 years. So I like it. If we can turn the corner on this daily money flow with the good daily bullish divergence we have setting up. We also have the weekly bullish divergence here. Okay, see the weekly bullish divergence? Same thing. Higher lows in momentum wave, lower lows in price action. The thing I don't like about this, you do have money flow down and coming down on this one. It's actually lower. Well, actually, it's right at the same spot. So it's right at the same spot it was in the February, March dump. And that's where you turned it around and we got the big pump up to 83K. Let's move this up for the weekly level. Wow, going back to 2018, you've only come below this level once. So, pretty good indication things could be turning around, at least for some relief rally here. Salt Chain says there's a bull moon again in a couple days on the 28th or 29th. Yeah, that's what we just said. Maybe you put that comment in before I said that, though. Looking at Bjorn, guys, we talked about this the other day. We did a VIP Discord-only scalp trading session. This big dump down the other day, guys, we longed it the entire way down. Long. I think we took like 5 long trade scalp longs. We won every one of them. But at that time, you can see, looking at Bjorn, this is volatility and stochastic indicator that I created. You can only get this. This is my favorite indicator. You can only get this in the VIP Discord. But we have volatility expansion right here. We got this expansion. So you have expansion when volatility comes below the 15th percentile, which is marked out with this orange line. That is contraction, volatility contraction. And then when it comes back above it, this is on the daily time frame, but when it comes back, regardless of what time frame you're on, when it comes back above it, that's contraction, or expansion, excuse me. Contraction below, expansion above. And the higher the time frame, the more powerful the move. And we got the expansion, we got the move up. While we were on that live stream, I think that was Wednesday, we got the move up. Now, that doesn't mean price is going up. That means business is picking up. That means volatility is picking up. That means there's an aggressive move occurring in the market. Now, the direction is determined by the gray line, the dark gray line. That is stochastic. So when volatility expands, you look at stochastic to see what direction price is going to go aggressively. So at the time we got expansion, all we had to do was just trace it up, and stochastic was headed down. And let's zoom out right there. And that is the big move down right there. You can see it right there. It expanded there. So it would have been on the opening of this candle right here. And since getting that volatility expansion, we literally got it on the live stream. Bitcoin dumped down 7.5%. $5,000 move down. Given to you free by the Bjorn indicator. This indicator is awesome. I'm telling you guys, you won't find a better indicator. Here's the last time we got expansion on it right here. So the multicolor line is volatility. You contracted below it way back over here, and then you expanded above right there. And at the time you expanded back above, see it moving up. Stochastic was headed down. You can see the dark gray line headed down. And let's trace it up above to price. Got expansion right there. We still haven't stopped dropping. But the initial move, if you just traded the initial move, gosh, before the bounce, 23% move. Daily Bjorn volatility expansion. Now, it does work the other way. It works the other way, too. Here we go. So, back here, you guys should get in the Discord, VIP Discord, and get this indicator. You got it here, volatility contraction into expansion, and you can see clearly that at the time of expansion, stochastic was headed up. Let's trace that right there. And you can see the big move up. That was the big move up from 66K all the way to 80, almost 83K. 25% move. Given to you, Bjorn Volatility Expansion. It is free in the VIP Discord, AnthonyLeeCrypto.com. Giving away most likely 1,000 USDT live on stream here next week. As soon as we get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to give it away right here. I will announce it in Discord, or Catherine will. One of us will, when we reach that 1,000 sub mark, and that we will be giving it away, and we'll tell you the date. It'll be like the next day probably. Go ahead and drop in any altcoins you want me to take a look at. We'll be glad to take a look at altcoins. So you guys know what I'm looking for. I would like to see, we'll cover it one more time real quick. I would like to see a move down into this golden pocket. I don't know that we'll get it. We got a good low here, guys. This is a really good low. Okay? This is a super good low. You had a low set back over here. You had a low. That was the first week of June. We longed that. And then you came back and you took the low out, which made this a good low right here, okay? You had a good low on a high time frame level. But then you came back the next day and swept that low yesterday, which now you have a good local low to go with the good macro low. And, of course, this low was a good sweep of this low. So you've got some really good lows here, okay? These are not what's called poor lows. Poor lows are when you have a low and you never came back and grabbed the liquidity. You came back close to it and moved. That's a recipe for Wreck City later. You've got some good lows here, both on the macro, right? Took out the original 60K low. And then on the high time frame, because you came up and you came back and took this one. And then you even took it on the local by coming and getting it yesterday. So you got some really, really good lows. The only thing I don't like about this is we front ran this golden pocket by $200. I don't like that. That is a good liquidity grab level. You know, golden pocket, lots of buy orders there. Grab the liquidity, fill those buy orders, and rip is what I would like to see. You don't have to. We've got the good bullish divergences. What do bull divs mean? What do daily bull divs mean? Where's our target for a daily bull div? Now, you've got a lot of work to do to get there, but our target will be back to the high. So we would be targeting back up in here, 67K. Okay, and if you can get above that, which is point of control, then we would target 70K, value area high. It starts with getting back. Here's the bad problem. We closed yesterday's candle, daily candle, below value area low. So within the next day, today preferably, you need to close back in that value area range. That is super important. If you do not close inside that value area range today, which is 59.9, 50, let's call it 60K. If you don't, then I think over the weekend we come down to golden pocket somewhere in the golden pocket's pretty big though. This is the golden pocket. I think we come down somewhere in that golden pocket Bull Moon Monday, you already have the good daily bullish divergences, and then I think we move up and out, and I think we rally through July. Clarence, what's up, bro? What is up? Clarence, do me a favor, bro. Will you post that in Discord in the alts chat, maybe the VIP alts chat? Because I'll forget, and I lose this chat once I close out the stream. If you'll post that in Discord for me, I will do that for you. Yes. Yeah, Thanos, that would be a great setup. And that's what I think is going to happen this weekend unless we close the daily back in that value area range. My value area range is different than what you may see other TA guys doing. I know my chart's a little messy, guys. I'm sorry. So you're going to see most guys throwing on your range like this. Something like this. I'm on the Bybit chart. Something like that. I don't like that. It just doesn't look very good to me. Whereas my value area range holds up a little better. You can see even from the initial dump, we bounced perfectly from it. That was back in February, 60K. Came up to value area high, resistance, resistance, resistance. And when you finally, in point of control, a clear point of control, when you finally broke above it, this is what I would consider a deviation. And then you came right back down to it. Boom. Came right up to my point of control. Boom. And I get this range. This was the range when we were in this same area back in 2024. We were here a lot longer, though, and this is the value area range from that area, and I just extended the lines over, and it's holding up much better. Even if you throw on what people are doing from here, and that's fine if you do that. That's fine. You still deviated way above it. Yeah, my deviation is bigger, but it is what it is. They're both providing support and resistance. CV Lee wants to see. All right, let's see. Oh, gosh, this looks terrible. I don't typically do things like this just because it hasn't been around. This is not something I would invest in. I know, first of all, I know nothing about the project. I don't know anything. I've never even heard of it. So I don't know about the fundamentals. And even if I did, I don't care. Fundamentals don't always play out. Just ask Cardano, okay? But what the reason I wouldn't invest in this, the only reason, because number one, I can't go off fundamentals, but number two, I like to see previous bear market so I could know where the bear market low was, so I could know how this is holding up. Okay? Because I'm big on technicals. And let's say, for example, and I'll give you a real world example, but let's say, for example, this thing had been around for a couple cycles and you set a high back here and then you had a bear market down here and then you came up to this high, right? Well, your previous bear market low is way down here, so this one's holding up pretty well, right? So I might be interested in this coin. And then I could look at the market cap. If you had a market cap high here and a higher market cap here, I would say, okay, well, we have a bullish market cap structure, so I'm going to anticipate a new high. But we don't have that kind of history. So for all we know, this coin could have set something like this to where you had a high in cycle one, then you came down to a bear market low, and then a lower high. And now you're looking at a situation where you had a bear market low, you've taken that out, you had initial cycle high and a lower high. So now you're in a bearish structure. But I don't have that info on this coin, so I would not go with this coin because I don't know. And so for all you know, this thing is going to set that very structure. And you're going to come up next cycle here and then the bear market after, and you're just going to do like that. You just don't know. right? And so in order to invest in this coin, you have to rely on the fundamentals, what they're telling you is going to happen. And you just can't go by that because it may not happen. Just ask ICP. Just ask Algorand. Just ask Cardano. All of these top coins that were going to cure cancer that didn't and massively underperformed. So that's it, bro. I'm not trying to knock your coin. There's just not enough price action for me, a technical trader, that I would want to invest in this. It could go either way. It could go either way right now. You just don't know. Let's see. Like Cardano here, okay? Cardano. Let's use Cardano as an example. Now, we have to wait and see what the next cycle brings us. But so Cardano had a high back here in cycle 1, came down, set a bear market low, then a big high, big, huge rally, okay? And then you said the last cycle in 2022, you had the bear market, okay? So this is how I could have predicted this on technicals, which is how I can predict what's going to happen next. A lot of people don't get this. They just don't want to hear it. Okay, so when Cardano set this high back in 2021, big $3 high, great, big 156X, good return, hyped up, super hyped up narrative, the greatest thing ever. Then you came down and set a low. Then you set a lower high in the last cycle. So anybody who thought that this bear market low was going to hold does not understand technical analysis, because that's not how it works. You had a high, you had a low. Let me clear this up. And you have to understand this when you're investing in the next cycle. If you're looking for coins to set new all-time highs, pay attention to this. You had a high, you had a low, you had a higher high, great. You had a higher low, great. Then you set a lower high, oh shit. That is your first indication that you're flipping structure bearishly, because a bullish structure would have continued on to set a new higher high. You did not. So that tells me this bear market, if you were looking to short this or if you were looking to buy, do not buy here, because you have now flipped structure bearish because you did not take out this high. You set a lower high, which means you can expect a lower low, which is what you've done. You've taken that out. Now, instead of having this bullish structure that you had, you're now in a bearish structure, which tells me that next cycle for Cardano, wherever this ends up down here, you can expect another lower high because you're now bearish on a macro scale. And I can't invest in that. And if you do, fine, you can still get a good return. You just have to taper your expectations. Don't expect this high again. You're not going to get it. Very, very unlikely, I should say. It would take an extreme narrative, and I got news for you on something like Cardano. Cardano's got one of the biggest followings I know of. XRP, Cardano, I don't know, Doge. There's not many coins that have a bigger army type following, right? So I just don't know how much more hype you can get that's going to overcome the technicals here. And Cardano's having real world partnerships, all the things you would want to see, but you can't overcome the bear structure. I mean, you can. It just takes a lot more, so it's not worth investing in to me when there are plenty of coins. Let's look at Fetch, and I always go back to Fetch, but look at the macro on it. I know my chart's busy. Let's just look at the macro, though. Thus far, and anything can happen, but you have not broken structure. You're still high, low, higher low, higher high, higher low. You have not taken out this low. So I can anticipate, whether I get it or not, I can anticipate another higher high. Because last cycle, you continued the higher high pattern and you continued the higher low, and thus far that has not changed. So I want to invest in the coin that has a bullish structure, not a bearish structure. But more importantly, I want to be able to see the structure. And something like that EGen, or however you say it, it doesn't even have a structure. Not on a macro scale. Of course, you can zoom into the 1 hour and do some intraday trading, but I don't think that's what you were asking about. So look for coins with bullish structure, guys. And if you do just have to go with a bearish structure coin, then just understand you're probably 99% chance not getting back to all-time high. And even then, you have to take it a step further and look at your tokenomics, your token unlocks. How many coins are you adding to the market? Then you have to look at your market cap retrace levels based upon the new tokens. So much more goes into it than what most of these influencers put out there when they just start screaming these stupid targets. So much more. I'll give you another good example. And I was guilty. I was on this train. Algorand. Algorand, 2 cycles in a row, has hit $3. So, I mean, supposedly, super great technology, real-world adoption, real-world utility. $3, $3. Here's where I missed it. Listen, guys, I'm a professional. This is what I do for a living. I'm going into my 4th cycle upcoming. And I'm not bragging, I don't get everything right, but I'm going to tell you how I missed it. Algorand had really good tokenomics. So you had $3, $3, 6.3 billion coins, and by this cycle you only had added 2 billion coins. So I didn't know that you hit $3 because you were adding a little bit. It didn't have to do much. It had a market cap of almost 18 billion. It didn't have to do much to still get back up here to like $1.50, right? But instead you did 60 cents. And here's where I missed it, guys. I missed it. I had over 1 million Algorand coins. You had a high, you had a low. It is a similar enough high, but similar enough doesn't count. It was a lower high. And here's where I really missed it. Lower low. Lower low. So what could I have expected now from that? I've now flipped market structure bearish. I could have expected a lower high. And when you expect a lower high, you have to throw a fib. So when you're expecting lower highs, not higher highs, not new highs, when you're expecting lower highs, you have to fib, look for a fib level. But you can't fib price. That doesn't work on a macro scale when you have token unlocks. So if you had 6.3 billion coins here and 6.3 here, then a fib works on price because you have the same supply. But if you don't, then it is not linear. Price is not linear. You have to fib market cap and then divide market cap divided by supply. And that would give you Fibonacci targets. And guess what? That is the 0.236. So it was an underperformance. But either way, I should have expected a lower high because you had flipped it bearishly with this lower low. And that's what all you Cardano haters, people hating on me on Cardano, are not understanding. Can it set new highs? Yes. Cardano can do whatever Cardano wants to do. But is it likely to set new highs? No. You've taken it out. You're going to set a lower high and a lower low. And that's just the way it is. Just go ask Algorand. And if it did come up here, you're the extreme exception to the rule. So start approaching your coins when you look at stuff like that. And I'll tell you guys, I already did the work for you. Right here, I explained this at the beginning of the stream, but go to the page. We lost a sub, dude. We had 921. Somebody didn't like what I had to say. Somebody didn't like I was talking about their coin a minute ago. This right here, my top 5 altcoins. I don't invest in all these coins. I don't have all these coins, so I don't care if you buy them or not. These are the ones that I've done the TA on. They have bullish structure. Where price is currently to a simple retrace level is going to give you the best return on investment with no extra fluff needed. So I put in some work. I put in some time on this. This is a good video. It's very informative in my opinion. Go check it out. Any other altcoins you guys want me to look at? Bitcoin moving up. West Coast. Stop closing your trades, bro. Not financial advice. I should have a little ticker that scrolls across that always just says not financial advice. Stop closing your trades, bro. Stop loss goes at the low, guys. When you're in a trade, stop loss goes at the low. Anybody who took this trade in Discord yesterday, this trade, this low has not been taken out. Everybody should still be in this trade. Getting back above that value area high, we need this daily close above the value area high. Gotta have it. If not, 57K minimum is incoming, probably over the weekend. So all eyes are gonna be on this. I wouldn't mind that though, guys. Let's hit it. Let's hit it. Let's come into Monday with the bull moon. Not that the moon does anything. This massive daily and weekly bullish divergence would do it. But it's nice to have the moon on your side too. Drop your alts in chat. Let me know what you want to see. We'll take a look at them. Fetch is pumping. Oh gosh, look at Fetch pumping, y'all. Guys, we're going to come into a big, in my opinion, July-August rally. Let's take a look. We do this every bear market. Let's go to the weekly. We've been calling for this. The lows. We've been calling for these lows. Oops. So every cycle we have lows. Every bear market we have lows in February, April, and June, and then Q4. Okay, February, April, June, and Q4. Every time, every single time. Right? I got them marked out with arrows. February, April, June, and then Q4 lows. You don't have to be lower lows. Like here back in 2018, in this April low, it wasn't a lower low, but this was a low. You're right. You had the February low, then you rallied up, then you set a low before coming back to a low in June. Okay, it doesn't have to be a lower low. You just have a big dump, right, is what we're saying. But you always have the June-July rally, right, or the late June or July-August rally, whatever. Boom, 2018, 45% on Bitcoin. Right here, 2022, last bear market, had the big dump in June, rally into July and August, 43%. So 45 and 43%. You always get that. So we're looking for that. Right here. July, August rally, not as big of one here, but 24%. So 24, 43, 45. So we're looking for that, guys. We're looking for a big rally coming up. The only question is, do we rally from here? Or do we slightly roll over and hit that 55, 57K range and then come up? That golden pocket right there that we front ran. If we did and we got like a 40% rally, we could still be looking for a move up somewhere around, depending on how much, somewhere around the highs. You could be looking for a rally right back up to 77, 82K, somewhere in there. Depending on where you rallied from. If you rallied from current price action or from this low, I mean, a 45% rally puts you all the way back up to 85K, 84, 85K. And at that point, you're just deviating from a sideways range, which is very possible. You just got a range here. Boom, there's your range. I don't think we get that. I think we get something more like this. And then into Q4, we come down. Maybe not this low. I don't think we come this low. I think we come. I've already told you. I think right here. 48K, 49, 48K. I think we take out this low right here. Boom. That is the 702 retrace. Do I have my fibs on here? That is a 702 retrace. Right there, 702 retrace, 48.5, somewhere in there. Take out that low, grab that. It's a good flip area too. Let's extend this line over, the 702 over. You see how it's a good support resistance flip, even all the way back here to previous cycle. Resistance, or excuse me, support, kind of resistance there, support bounce there, resistance, resistance, resistance. You ran it here with support. It's a good area. It's a good zone. Don't focus on the line. Focus on the zone, right? The zone. Like that. The zone around that 702. But either way, I think we grab that wick. It's my prediction. Jack wants to look at Flux. I do own Flux. I do own Flux. Let's look at Flux. All right, so Flux, I got to admit, guys, I'm breaking my own rule on Flux. I'm breaking my own rule on Flux because it does have bearish structure, significant bearish structure. However, this is one of those small cap coins, okay? It's only 400 million coins in circulation, so it is a small cap coin, 22 million, lower now, probably like an $18 million market cap. Small cap coin. It is AI sector with GPU technology, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, and I tell you not to focus on fundamentals, but I like the coin. It competes with Nosana and Akash, and I just like these small cap coins. Now, I don't have my entire portfolio in Flux. I have 800,000 Flux coins. I've shown this in Discord. I've shown it in live trades. But I've tapered my expectations. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I like about it. From current price, if you just do a 236, which is a despicable, disgraceful, awful, that is market cap. This is based on market cap. Retrace. 236 is terrible. Almost all coins, not all, but almost all coins do at least a 0.5. Most of them do a golden pocket or greater, but at least a 0.5. But if all you did was 236, you're still getting a 9x from current price. With a AI sector GPU technology coin, the worst, most despicable, laughable retrace level there is, you're getting a 9x, which I'm telling you guys is better than you're going to get from some of these super hyped up Ondo coins, that type of crap. That is better on a laughable, despicable, terrible retrace. You're going to get better on this coin than you're going to get from one of these uber popular coins, I'm telling you. So I like this coin. This is, you can see this right here. This is an imbalance. You can see how quickly price moves through this, a low volume area. So when you do get here above this, you can see that there's your line. I'll mark it out with a solid line. There's your line. When you get above that, it's going to be go time. You can see fast move up from there. So you will fast move up. All you got to do is grind your way up to that line, that green line, 12 cents. And when you get above that, you're going to, boom, shoot right up to that real quick, super quick. I mean, look, oops. You can just look back at every time you've come above that green line. This is a weekly time frame. One candle, up and down through it. One. Well, this was 1, 2, 3. 3 weeks. 3 weeks is the longest you've taken to move through that area. So, big move, guys. I like Flux. But I don't like Flux expecting new all-time highs. Although, that's what I mean, guys. Go by the technicals. What can you get on a bare bones retrace? Oh, I can get a 9x on a bare bones retrace. What are the fundamentals? AI sector, GPU technology. So I can get a 9x on bare bones, and I have AI potential in case fundamentals come through? Freaking sign me up. And if my narrative doesn't play out, I can still expect a minimum of a 9x. Where can I buy? Kraken. You can buy on Kraken. Let's look at Nosana. I haven't looked at Nosana in a while. It was coming down to our levels, though, guys. Salt Chain wants to see Nosana. Nosana is almost to our target, guys. Nosana is another one. GPU technology. Now, Nosana, let me see. So Nosana, clear bullish structure, right? You have last bear market low way down here. You will not take that out. I hope not. If you do, this is in serious trouble. So holding up really well here. Clear bullish structure. AI technology, GPU, AI sector, GPU technology. This is the entire chart, but I've got it on the Kraken chart because that's where I spot trade and buy on. And it doesn't have the full history, but that's okay. Here's your retrace levels. This is a little stronger looking coin because we just looked, you have the bullish structure, so I would not expect a 236 retrace. I would expect a minimum of probably golden pocket, probably 786 at a minimum, which will give you a $2 Nosana, which is about 8x from here. But like we just looked at, if you remember, we just pulled it up. Your previous cycle was like this, right? So we have the bullish structure. So you can anticipate a higher high, which is where I have you at a $6.50 Nosana. So even at current price, I'm projecting a 2,500% gain, a 25x. But if you don't get it, you're still going to be looking at, if all you did was what you did last cycle, you're going back to $2.51, which is a 10x from current price. If you do no better, no worse. But I would really only be interested in this down around 20 cents, somewhere in this zone, which we're almost back to now. So really good from this zone. You're looking at a 20 cent to a $2.786. That is a 10x. However, so that is a 10x, what I would consider average at best performance for this structure. Average at best, $2. But you have the higher highs and higher lows. So your upside potential is, your upside expectation will be another higher high. 10x minimum target. 25x probable, or I wouldn't say probable, pretty good shot, but 10x minimum target. It's a good coin. It's in that good sector too, that AI sector, which don't base your picks on fundamentals, but just be aware. Are you in a crappy dying sector, or are you in a white hot sector? And then look at technicals within that white hot sector to find the coin. ATH from Mikey. Is that all the history? Oops, wrong one. It's the same thing. I can't really do this coin for what I do. This is the same as that IGN coin. There's just not enough history here. And I'm not sure if you were on the stream when we covered this a minute ago looking at coins, but there's not enough history here for me. I would never invest in this. The only way that you could invest in this, in my opinion, is you would be solely relying upon a narrative or fundamentals or what they tell you is going to happen. And sometimes it plays out, sometimes it doesn't. But I like to invest on the technicals, and you just don't have the history. This hasn't been around long enough. I would want to see a bear market so that I know, like, okay, if I want to invest in this, say this coin started out down here, bear market. Let me redo that. You had a first cycle high. Let me redo this. Sorry. Redo. You had a first cycle high, then you came down to bear market, set your new high, and now you're here. So I could look at the structure, and I do want to look at market cap, not really price, but I would look at the structure, say, okay, we got a high, a higher high, we got a low way down here, and thus far we've not taken that out. right? So we have a bullish structure. This might be a coin I would want to invest in. I'd want to look at the tokenomics, the circulating supply, the token unlocks, all that stuff. But I can't see this. So for all I know, this coin is could be something like this, to where you had a cycle back here, which you didn't, but follow me. And then you came and set a bear market, and then you had a lower high, and now you're setting a lower low. So this could be a bearish structure, which I would not want to invest in. I just don't have the history here, so it's not something I would want to touch. For me, the only way to touch this is to believe whatever it is they're telling you this coin is going to do. And I just go back to ask Cardano how well that worked out for them. And the list goes on and on. ICP, Algorand, you name it. All the major projects. That's it, brother. I'm not trying to knock your coin. I just want to see history on the coin. Oscar bought more Nosana yesterday. I love Nosana. Do we think we can see Nosana at $1 this year? I do not. I do not. The problem is going to be, so we're here. All right. If Bitcoin follows the 4-year cycle the way it always does, right? Then we are expecting a Q4 low. And I'm gonna tail this back to Nosana. Give me 1 sec. All right, so you know we're looking for a Q4 low, right? 54 bars, right out there, sometime in October maybe. Although I suspect it could be November, and I'm gonna tell you why. But you can see here we've had the same amount of bars from low to high: 153 bars, 150 bars, 150 bars, and then from high to low, 52 bars, 54 bars. So somewhere in that area, 50 to 55 bars, somewhere in there, puts you in October. However, I've actually added to the thesis that this could run on midterm election, propping the markets up and then dumping them like a buy the rumor, sell the news. And if that's the case, we're looking at November 2026. All of these white vertical lines indicate when the midterm elections were, and look at every single one of them. Immediately following the midterm election, boom, big move down. But you can see a rally up into it first, also rally into it. So the party in control's wanting the market to look good. Let's rally a couple months into the midterm election and then sell the news. Right back to the same thing here. Rally into it, boom, move down. Rally into it, big move down. So it just happens to be coincidental, in my opinion, that it's topping 1 year after the high. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll know in October, or we'll know in November rather, because everyone's expecting an October low, right? October low. But what if really midterms is what really sends it down, right? What if they rally into October and then send it down after midterms? Either way, we just looked at how we're expecting a possible July, August 40-ish% rally for Bitcoin. That's what I expect. During that time, let's go back and look at Fetch. Just because Nosana doesn't really have history back then. So during that time, it's right here. Okay, right here where Bitcoin gets, I'm on Fetch AI, but right here is where Bitcoin got the 45% rally last cycle. Fetch rallied up 80% before dumping back down to the low, and then the big rally, okay? And Fetch and Nosana are moving pretty similarly-ish. Down here at the bottom, Fetch, current price, Fetch rallied up 120%, whereas Nosana rallied up 200%, 220%. So maybe Nosana is a little outperforming, but either way, if you come down to this white box and then you get the rally from Bitcoin 40%, and let's say Nosana does 100% rally. I mean, that's going to put you back up to around here, around 50 cents or so. That's 150% rally. To get to $1, you're going to have to rally 375%. But remember, we're expecting a rally and then a low to come. Not necessarily a lower low for altcoins. Not all altcoins. Some altcoins bottoms are in. And we've shown that. Most likely. I just don't think you're going to get up there before Q4 rolls back over for Bitcoin, and Osana should follow. So I think best case scenario, best case, you come hit a 50 cent Osana this year. And then, headed into 2027, I think you get the big push. But your question is this year, and I don't see that happening. But looking at something like, the reason I say it's the lows in, we have this low in February, 14 cents. And whereas most coins come back and take out the low, let's look at Fetch. In Q4, when Bitcoin comes to take the low, like right here, Fetch set the low last June, and then in Q4, Fetch set a new low. However, coins like Ethereum did not. You set the low in June, got the big rally with Bitcoin, and then came back and did not take the low, right? And it wasn't the only one. Gosh, what a messy chart. Doge set the low in June, big rally, came back, did not sweep the low. XRP was another one. Don't buy XRP, whatever you do. Set the low in June, rallied, come back, did not take the low, and then moved up and out. So in my opinion, the low is in for some of these coins already. But I don't see Osana hitting $1 this year. That's almost a 4x. That is a 4x from 25 cents. Because I don't think the low's in for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's going to drag it down. Next year, though, I think Osana in 2027 breaks $1 pretty early, actually. CV Lee wants optimism. I like optimism. I like optimism. Optimism is one of the only coins in the green today. Optimism's just beat down, guys. I don't think optimism ever sets a new high. Hang on a second. I'm missing something here. All right. So optimism, I used to own optimism. I sold it. So, sorry, I know I'm bouncing all over the place. I don't know how my chart got messed up. So when optimism set this high at near $5, this is important. You guys need to understand this. Everybody looks, you might look at optimism and think, wow, it was $5. We're at 10 cents. That's a 50x. Yes. Well, optimism had 1.1 billion, had 1 billion coins on the market when you set this high. You currently have 2.15, and by next cycle, you're going to have 4 billion. All of your coins are going to be unlocked by the next cycle high. That means you're adding 4 times more coins to the market. So to do a price of 486 again, you're going to have to 4x your market cap. You're going to have to do almost a $20 billion market cap just to reach this. Okay, just to reach 486. Not likely to happen. Not likely to happen. So what you do is you throw in your retrace levels for your market cap. And I'll show you that real quick. here are your fib levels for your market cap. I've already got them on here. And I'll show you how to calculate price, because you can't fib your price when you have 4 times the circulating supply. It's not linear. But you can fib this and do the Chinese arithmetic. And price equals market cap divided by circulating supply. So we know here for optimism, you're going to have 4 billion coins. That's your circulating supply. So we're going to do market cap divided by 4 billion. Okay? That's how we're going to calculate this. And it'll give you a retrace level. And let's say you just do like a standard golden pocket retrace. Again, this is on market cap. Your golden pocket here is coming in at $3 billion. So $3.06 billion. That's assuming you bottom here on market cap, right? And you don't go significantly lower. Divided by 4 billion coins, that's going to give you a price of 76 cents. So you would go back here. Let me clear this up. You go back here. $0.76. This would be your 618 market cap retrace. Okay, so if all you did was a golden pocket retrace, if you did a golden pocket retrace, and again, this is not going to be applicable on price. See, if you did a golden pocket retrace on price, this is where people screw up. They think, oh gosh, if it just golden pocket retraces, we're going to $3. No, you're not. Because you have 4 times more coins. That's why a fib doesn't work on price. That's why you have to fib market cap. This would only be applicable if you had the same number of coins. So if you did a golden pocket, you'd be looking at a 76-cent Nosana, which is still like a 7x from current price. Excuse me, optimism. So it's still pretty good. Now, if you did the same market cap as what you had here, 486, let's see what that was. That was a $4.8 billion market cap. So if you did no better, no worse, you did a $4.8 billion market cap divided by 4 billion coins, it's going to give you $1.20. So you can see how unlocking tokens weighs price down. Right? Because right up here at the top at 486, you had a $4.8 billion market cap. Now you've unlocked so many coins, or you will have unlocked them by next cycle, that if you do the same market cap as you had up here, you're only going to have $1.20. Everybody misses that. And so you round trip your bags because you sit here and watch like, oh gosh, here we go, going all-time high, boom. Because you don't realize you went to all-time high market cap. But your price wasn't there because nobody looks at your token unlocks. And that's where they get wrecked. That's why, and even if you doubled it, like a bullish coin, I try to tell people all this time, like Ondo and things like that, even if you double your all-time high, like super bullish, right? You double your all-time high, you came way up here to a double all-time high market cap, which is 8.6, right in there. That's bullish, right? That's really bullish. You doubled your market cap. It doesn't look that bullish, but it is. 4.8. No, I'm sorry, they give you 9.6. Right in there. That's super freaking bullish, guys. To come back up to that would be super. That's a double market cap, right? Twice as much money came into this coin this cycle as you had last cycle. That's what that would mean. But that would only give you a $2.40 price. This is a double market cap all-time high. That would only give you that. And so people sitting out there screaming, Ondo's bullish, this and that's bullish, it's bullish, institutions, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. But even if it's not bullshit, and even if it is bullish, it doesn't mean it's going to reflect that way on price. Because just like optimism, you can have twice as much money coming to the coin, which is bullish, but you're only going to do 240, which is half what you did up here in price. That's half. So it looks bearish, but it's not. It's twice as bullish as it was before. You've just unlocked so many coins that you don't see it on price. And that's where people get caught up into the hype and the narrative and the partnerships and how it's going to do this and it's got to go to new price all-time highs because all of this crap. That might make it a bullish coin, but it doesn't mean your price is going to go there. You have to go look at how many coins you're going to have in circulation compared to how many you had at all-time high. And that's where all of these retarded influencers, redacted, excuse me, I don't mean to offend any retarded people out there. We skip sensitivity training. That's where they get it wrong. That's where they get it wrong. I mean, can it do this? Yeah, sure it can, but it is very unlikely. You can probably count on one hand the number of coins that have 4x their market cap from one cycle to the next. I don't know of any. I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, but it is very, very, very rare. So don't bank on it. It's a low probability. Oscar, you're welcome, bro. You know it's true, West Coast. I see you laughing, bro. You know it's true. All right, guys, anything else before we roll? We've looked at flux. We've looked at optimism. We went on several rants. But this is important, guys. I don't care. I don't need to blow smoke. I don't own any of this stuff. I own Fetch, Flux. But I don't really care. I don't need somebody to go invest $5,000 to pump my bag. I don't need that. So I'm not going to blow smoke at you. I'm going to shoot you straight. And you have to pay attention. Even bullish coins can saturate their market with token unlocks. Even bullish projects. And that's what Ondo is. I should add Ondo to the list. People telling you Ondo is going to do these crazy numbers are crazy. They're crazy, guys. Ondo could be super freaking bullish, but you're unlocking 700% more coins. So even if this market cap triples, you could triple your market cap from 5 billion to $15 billion market cap. You could triple your market cap, and you're still only going to do like $1 Ondo. With a triple market cap, because you're 7xing your coins. You're adding 7 times more coins. So anybody yelling about this partnership and Ondo curing world hunger and blah, 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 it very well may. But you can't get beyond the fact that you're unlocking 7 times more coins. You can't do it. That math don't math, y'all. And what probably happened, I'll be honest, what probably happened, because most of these guys are losers, what probably happened is nobody thought the cycle was over for Bitcoin, right? And I'm not saying all influencers did this, but you know, you had the high here in 2024. Well, Bitcoin set a high in 2025, right? So you got the initial high and then the rundown, and then Bitcoin came up like this, and everybody expected alts to do it, but it didn't. So most of these losers, and that's what they are because they're misleading you, they're either too dumb or they're losers. They probably bought here expecting it to run up with Bitcoin, right? Because this is where Bitcoin kind of bottomed in that mid-cycle dip and then ran up. They probably bought there and it went, pfft, and now they need to BS you to get it back here so that they can sell on you for a break even. Whereas I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you, you're unlocking 1.7 billion tokens each of the next 3 Januaries. period. No matter what they tell you, period. The Ondo project has already released this unlock schedule. It's happening. You don't see it in price right now, and that's how they're hooking these people, because price is holding up pretty well right now. That's because the coins aren't unlocked yet. They're upcoming. January, which is going to weigh price down and make it an uphill battle for them to get back up to these levels. Unfollow. All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, we're going to roll. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing real quick. Moving down, maybe? Remember, we need the daily close today. How did MicroStrategy? We need the daily close to be back in this range, which is 60K. Got to have it, or we're headed to 57K, period. Got to have it. Probably headed to that 57K range, guys. It doesn't look good. One hour green dot, but you're heavy in the red. Hey, Bubby, come see me. Y'all want to see Edgy? Here he is. Come here. Come on. Oh, they got the big boy up here today. Got the big boy. All right, man. I'll come see you in a minute. That's Edge. We have 2 Doberman. He's the big one. 105 pounds. He turned 2 years old 2 days ago. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I love you guys. The Lord loves you. I hope you have a great weekend. I will, Clarence, if you put that in Discord, I will do those alts for you. I've already forgotten them. Join our Discord, guys. AnthonyLeeCrypto.com. Love to have you. I'll see you guys next time.